Kidnapping and a man behind bars.
And if you enjoy your nicotine, MU Healthcare won't hire you.
Plus, a Columbia man's struggle with addiction, a rough road to go. KOMU-8 News at 6 starts now. Columbia police say they destroyed a pipe bomb after catching a man accused of kidnapping and domestic assault. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jem Reek.
And I'm Brittany Pieper. Police say they found a pipe bomb in a car. KOMU-8's Eric Kelly is live with more on this kind of bizarre investigation.
I'm live here in the parking lot of the Columbia Orthopedic Group, which is where police say 50-year-old Gary Missler of Forestville kidnapped his wife. Now, police say Missler hid in the trunk of his wife's car and waited for her to come out of her workplace here on South Keene Street. Investigators say once she exited the car, Missler forced her into the passenger seat and drove around for an hour and a half. The victim regained control of the car when Missler stopped at a star, though, and police say they found an active pipe bomb, noose, zip ties, and duct tape in the car trunk. Now, Columbia police say they destroyed the pipe bomb, and it was active when they destroyed the pipe bomb. They also say that Missler is currently in a secure facility, and his arrest is pending. Reporting live from Columbia, Eric Kelly, KOMU-8 News.
Officers are investigating a bank robbery this afternoon in North Columbia. Police were dispatched to the Central Bank of Missouri on Rangeline just after 1 o'clock. Police say the suspect entered the bank, demanded money, and implied he had a gun. The teller then gave the man an undisclosed amount of money, and the suspect left the scene.
We left the scene there. They were still collecting any type of evidence that they could from it. They were also looking to collect surveillance video in the area, if there was surveillance video at the robbery, or excuse me, at the bank, and then if there was any surveillance video in the surrounding businesses.
The man left the scene of the crime on a bicycle heading south on Rangeline.
Morgan County Sheriff's deputies caught a man today who's been on the run for the past 15 years. Ivan Rodriguez Duran had outstanding felony warrants from Las Vegas for kidnapping and burglary, plus a rape charge from nearby Montgomery County. Duran is in the Morgan County Jail. Immigration and Customs Enforcement were notified. Mercy Hospital is investigating a possible Ebola case in Crystal City. That's just south of St. Louis. The female patient recently returned from Liberia. Doctors say the woman was in West Africa assisting with the Ebola crisis, but was not in direct contact with patients and is considered to be a low risk. Jefferson County medical officials have been watching her daily. This morning, the woman came down with a fever and was taken to an isolation unit at an off-site surgical center.
Tobacco users won't be able to work in a Columbia hospital next year. MU Healthcare says it will not hire nicotine users starting in January. KOMU-8's Amanda LeBreau is live to explain if what the hospital's doing is legal.
MU Healthcare's new nicotine-free hiring policy exempts current employees, but all new applicants will be asked if they use nicotine products. If the applicant says yes, they'll be given tobacco cessation information and the opportunity to reapply for jobs within 90 days. The policy will also add nicotine to MU Healthcare's pre-employment drug screenings. An MU adjunct law professor says the policy isn't discriminatory because there's no constitutional right to smoke. The hospitals have been smoke-free inside and out since 2006, and now they move on to employees.
We want to make sure that we're leading by example, and so we're creating a culture of health here, and our employees will take the lead on that.
For a list of the nicotine products banned by the new policy, visit our website at KOMU.com. Reporting live in Columbia, Amanda LeBreau, KOMU 8 News.
Drug use continues to be an issue in many parts of the country, especially if dangerous drugs like heroin and crack cocaine can be found. KOMU-8's Genevieve Rayom spoke with an ex-addict about the struggle that follows drug use.
I think in 1989 I started crack cocaine, and when I started crack cocaine, it took me to another dimension of getting high.
This was the moment Larry McBride later thought he might never recover from. But it was years earlier his path with drugs truly began.
And I couldn't believe it. Nobody said anything. And we was carrying fists of vodka, walking down Worley, drinking them, and smoking weed. I said, wow, this is the stuff.
McBride was just a teen when he moved to Columbia. His parents had just gotten divorced, and his mom moved here from Fulton. In Fulton, he was on the basketball team. He even sang in the choir. But that all changed when he moved to Columbia.
We was drinking vodka and smoking weed my first day of school here in Columbia, Missouri when I was 14 years old. And from that point on, I continued to use.
McBride explained that once you're in, it feels almost impossible to stop.
It's just like that mouse, you're trying to catch that mouse and you never catch it, you keep trying to catch it. And that's the way it is with the crack, you never catch it.
A Boone County Sheriff's Department detective says drugs come here through all means: planes, trains, and automobiles.
But I can assure you, you don't have to go very far to obtain crack cocaine.
And just like crack cocaine, other drugs that are prominent in mid-Missouri, like heroin and methamphetamine, lead nowhere good.
You know, and unfortunately, for a lot of these people that abuse drugs, you know, what stops them is the penitentiary or the cemetery.
Fortunately, McBride didn't end up in the cemetery, but he did end up behind bars a few times. He says possibly 7 or 8 times. But he says something saved him, or someone.
One day God called me and I went to church and I knew that's where I was supposed to be at.
He said he was called to ministry, and from that point, he has never looked back.
I'm not an alcoholic and addict. I'm a child of God, favored by the Most High God.
Now he spends his time working as a minister and toward his master's degree. He also works with addicts, trying to help them find solidarity without drugs, all kinds of drugs.
That's one of my dreams and passions as well, is to help turn somebody around in a different direction than they're going.
Amen. Genevieve Rayome, KOMU-8 News, Columbia.
Detective O'Sullivan says the most important thing parents can do is to talk with your kids, know what they're doing and what their concerns are.
Jefferson City firefighters scaled trenches as part of a FEMA grant awarded to the department in July. KOMU-8's Rachel Whittle joined the climb to find out why JCFD is training for these types of trench rescues.
JCFD says trench rescues are not super common, but they are a very real concern, especially in construction zones. Find out why the fire department rushed to complete this training course.
It's too cold to be doing this. We ought to have done this in the springtime, but on the grant restrictions we're required, we've got a year to complete it.
So even as winter weather blows through, the Jefferson City Fire Department took the descent into the trench.
The possibility is there year-round. The risk is there.
Utility and construction workers are at the greatest risk for getting trapped in a trench.
Utility workers, construction workers, lots of where they put in underground water mains, gas mains, electric lines, sewer lines.
JCFD captain and rescue trainer Steve Holtmeyer says the list goes on, but he also says the department has an advantage in trench rescues.
We are a little bit ahead of the curve because we have a truck with all the dedicated equipment that we can respond a lot faster than some other places.
With soon-to-be certified rescue technicians and advanced tools, JCFD plans to cut its response times, especially because Holtmeyer says trench rescues can last hours. 25 JCFD firefighters will be certified trench rescue technicians by Monday, which is when the training course ends. This part of the FEMA grant is also a prerequisite for firefighters who want to train for building collapses in April.
It will be clear tonight, but the skies are changing. So let's send it over to Rosie for a look at our weekend forecast.
Brittany, you hit the key word there, weekend. At this point, a lot of people are just looking straight forward, a bit of tunnel vision into where we're going to start the weekend, even as early as tomorrow afternoon. For the rest of tonight, we are looking at mostly clear conditions, slow clouds increasing as we head into Friday. Highs tomorrow afternoon, even better than they got today, but we do have to bring in a chance of precipitation starting as early as tomorrow afternoon, and that is going to extend throughout the entire weekend. We'll tell you when those rain chances are best, how much rain to expect, when it's going to be gone, and when we're cooling back down. We'll give you all the latest details as to what you can expect in the next 8 days in total in just a few minutes.
One of the busiest travel weeks of the year is almost here. We'll tell you what you need to know before you hit the road.
Plus more technology in Columbia classrooms. That's coming up.
If you're headed out on the highway next week, give yourself a little extra time because you definitely will not be alone. KOMU-8's Jasmine Dell is in the studio to show us what you need to know when planning your drive.
This year will be the highest year of travel since 2007, and we'll have the lowest gas prices in the past 5 years. According to AAA, about 46 million Americans will travel 50 miles or more from their home during the Thanksgiving weekend. Right here is MoDOT's interactive map, which shows us where the roads will be closed and where traffic congestion is located. As of right now, you can see where the roads are green without congestion, but that is expected to change in the next couple of days. MoDOT spokesperson Sally Oxenhandler describes the interactive features.
It will really tell them what the current conditions are out on the highway. So they can see if there's a work zone up ahead, they can see if there's an incident that's occurred, and they can plan their travel accordingly.
MoDOT will suspend road work for the holiday season starting Wednesday and resume the following Monday. To see how your travel plans will look, go to KOMU.com. Jim and Brittany.
Columbia Public Schools have started the transition to get more technology in the classroom. By 2021, every student in the district from the 5th grade through the 12th grade will have their own personal electronic device. The plan started this year when all 5th graders were given iPads. The 5th graders will keep their iPads through 8th grade and then get a new one for high school. That doesn't mean the schoolwork is changing.
One of the main things is to realize that this is just a tool. It's not replacing a curriculum. It's not replacing the lesson plans that are being taught in the classroom. This is just another tool for them to be able to access information and to enhance what we already teach in the school system.
Battle High School is currently the only school in the district with iPads for all students.
Today, Lee Middle School is the first in Columbia to participate in Grief Awareness Day for children. Teachers and students walked through the halls in blue shirts to recognize the day with the words "Blue for Kids." Students made signs in the halls that explain ways they've felt grief. One of those said, "When my mom had cancer, I would give her a hug." A new grief program at the school is possible because of a Columbia doctor who says this type of program is necessary in schools for children to have an outlet to properly grieve.
High school football season is winding down. Players are getting recognized for their performances.
Coming up in sports, we'll introduce you to a Missouri commit who's getting ready to play in arguably one of the biggest high school recruit games in the country.